Atlanta Community Profiles, a show about living in Atlanta and purchasing a home here. Atlanta Community Profiles is hosted by Lou Whelan, who will talk to experts who know this ever-changing city and its real estate industry. We'll talk to mayors, community leaders, and residential real estate experts. Now, here's Lou Whelan with this week's Atlanta Community Profiles.
Hello there, and welcome to our show. My name is Lou Whelan. I publish the official relocation guides on Atlanta on behalf of the First Multiple Listing Service, and I've been publishing these for 25 years this year, and they're available in all of the major real estate brokerage firms and chambers of commerce at no charge. We have one for the metro area as an entirety. We have one for North Fulton in partnership with the North Fulton Chamber of Commerce, one for Gwinnett County in partnership with the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce, one for Cobb County in partnership with the Cobb Association of Realtors, and one for Inside 285. They're also available on my website, atlantacommunityprofiles.com, and you can view them on the site along with a great deal of additional information on Atlanta. And I'm also a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties. If I can help you with any of your real estate needs, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you, commercial or residential. And the show every week, we interview people who are contributing to the well-being of the community and business and government leaders. And today, we're very pleased to have such an individual on the show, a person who is well known by quite a few people. Our guest today is Tony Floyd, Chief Marketing Officer of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties. Welcome back to the show, Tony.
Thank you, Lou. It's great to be back.
Great to have you on the show, as always. And Chief Marketing Officer of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties. So exactly what does that entail anyway, Chief Marketing Officer? Is that like grand guardian of the brand?
No, what that really means is you have to be really smart about hiring great people that work for you that ultimately make your company look good, and you get a little credit along the way. So,
well, that's a very good advice. I think there are a lot of very brilliant people who adopted that philosophy and have done quite well with it.
Yeah, so we really oversee the marketing, all the technology. We are heavily involved in coaching and training, and just we end up getting our fingers in a lot of the components of the company strategy, and so we're involved in a lot. So
you are pretty much in charge of marketing Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties throughout the metro area, and you and your department, and it's a very good department, and positioning the company to home buyers and home sellers.
Sure.
And where does the company stand in that respect at this stage?
Well, we're having a great year again. So we, for 8 years in a row, have been ranked the number one company in homes sold and buyers represented, and for Metro Atlanta. And so that's according to Trend Graphics and Broker Metrics and Collateral Analytics and all those folks who track all the statistics. So our company's having a great year. We have 1,650 agents in 22 offices, and we've got a lot of folks doing a great job of helping people move on to the next chapter of their life, or find their dream homes, or solve whatever real estate problems that they may have.
So the goal of a real estate agent is to what? How would you define that?
Well, they deal with different types of clients. So the first thing we always encourage our agents to do, and they do a great job of it, is sit down with their client and ask them questions about what they're trying to accomplish. So if you're selling your property, there's many things that can vary in what they're really trying to accomplish. They may need to move quickly. They may want to get the highest value or net for their property, which we specialize in, by the way. Or if you're buying, you may have a short-term need for temporary housing that you want to move into for a couple of years, or you may be looking to stay there for a long period of time. Some people are looking for lifestyle choices. Some people are looking for space. The typical reasons people buy a new home, or move into a new location that's job related, or closer to their family or friends, or they don't have enough space, or they have too much space and they're downsizing. So there's a lot of moving parts to the reasons that people buy and sell these days, and we want to make sure we're helping them achieve the goals that are most important to them.
And so what kind of advice would you give to a home buyer or a home seller in terms of the reasons why they should select Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Georgia Properties as their firm to do business with? How would you coach them?
Sure.
We're counselors.
Sure. So, we do provide a service. We are a professional services company, and we spend a great deal of energy arming our associates with capabilities that make them worth more to the clients that they do business with. And many of them have great local expertise in their areas, so they know markets that other people don't know in the same way. They may have a unique skill or attribute to add to the equation, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what is that person going to do for you that you're paying them for? So if you're selling my house, can I do a better job of marketing your property, exposing it to the broadest possible set of buyers that give you the best chance to find the right buyer that's going to achieve your goals, or usually the highest net return for that particular property? Or if I'm helping you on the buy side, and how can I do a great job of helping you find the right property and then helping navigate you through that whole process? We're not just a real estate brokerage. We also own a mortgage company, an insurance company. We provide title services. We provide home warranty services and others. So we really extend beyond just the transactional side of real estate and try to help solve the whole problem for our buyer and seller clients, and do that in a very professional way. And we think we do it better than anybody.
I know your background is technology. You have pretty high-ranking positions in very technical companies. Tell me how that expertise and that background helps us as a company to be of value to the buyers and the sellers, and just technology seems like it's becoming more and more a part of everything we do.
Well, it is, and technology is only good for what it can do for somebody that provides value or helps free up their time and those sorts of things. So it's not just about the technology. Again, it's about what it can do. So in my background, I've spent a lot of years in IBM and some other companies, and in those roles we use technology for benefiting a business. And so in real estate, there's all kinds of things that have changed. Real estate was, when I got involved in this about 11 years ago, real estate was behind most other industries, but it's moved pretty fast. So we're moving at a very fast pace in our company to adopt the right technologies that, again, benefit our agents and benefit our clients. So what I try to spend a lot of my energy on, and my team's energy on, is giving our agents things that give them an advantage, more value to their clients, or doing something for them that automates something or improves a process so it frees their time up, or we provide resources in a lot of different ways to our associates so that we free their time up so they can focus on the things that are most important to serve their clients in the best way. So today there's some really interesting things going on in the technology frontier that, are not only impacting real estate, but are impacting a lot of industries. So, one example of that would be, we're testing a artificial intelligence chatbot. And what that basically is a smart chat function on your website or even in social media that allows you to interact with it and ask it questions. And these things can show you properties, they can answer your questions, they can do some amazing things. And once you start to see how this plays out over the next 6, 12, 18 months, I think you're going to see the way search gets done in real estate completely be revolutionized. And it won't look the same as it did for a lot of years.
Is it like voice recognition? Is that the way it works?
Well, this particular version is chatting. You're basically, sending messages back and forth. And it allows, the consumer to just ask questions. So I want to find a home in Roswell or, in Atlanta near something that is in a certain price range and has a variety of attributes that I want to put in there. I might want a master on the main. I want a fenced backyard for my dog. I want, whatever. And you can just ask normal questions through your texting, your chatting, and it'll come back and give you answers and show you properties and help you.
Will it be like Siri on my iPhone? Will it be like a voice that'll come back automatically, or will it be a live person on the other end?
Well, we were also working on the voice side as well. You wouldn't be surprised to see asking Alexa about real estate pretty soon.
Interesting. I guess we'll all get a lot more money as an agent for that, right? Since we just won't have to work so much.
Well,
we just wait for the order to come in. Is that the way it works?
It's going to keep changing.
So the technology will improve the quality of the product that we can offer people.
Oh, well, there's two sides to that. For the consumer, it's going to get better and better. They'll be able to find information easier. They'll be able to, quickly get to the things they really want to get to and see more and more information. For the agent, they'll be able to provide more services, better services, and more information quicker, faster, and better.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're talking with Tony Floyd, Chief Marketing Officer of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties, and we'll be talking more about the specifics of the real estate market, sales and prices and trends and so forth. So we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back. I'm Lou Whelan, sitting here with Tony Floyd, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties. And by the way, how long have you been at Berkshire Hathaway? Anyway, I know you mentioned 9 years earlier. Is that not the
just
time?
a little over 11 years.
11 years now.
I'm dangerous now.
Dangerous. Well, anyway, dangerous, but in a good way, so I'm sure. But we really need to address the main question that people are listening for. Probably is what is the price of houses in Atlanta generally, and as it compared to other cities, and is the price going up or going down, or what is a median price of the house, or what are the sales?
Sure, I can give you a lot of the data here. So it's interesting if you go back in the recession. We bottomed out, according to Case-Shiller, in pricing about March of 2012. Is kind of the low there. And since then, our home values, according to Case-Shiller, this is the general average for Metro Atlanta, are up 69%. So I used to publish a lot of numbers back in the day and different price points and, properties that have increased or decreased in value in different years, and there was a lot of red numbers many years ago, but sure, everything's looking good. All the values are up. So this year, the average sell price, the average, based on closings, right now, this past month was $290,000. Last year, we actually set a record for average sell price for all of recent history. And the peak before that was 2006, and we beat it last year. This year, we're going to beat that. So prices are moving up, but I kind of call this the tale of three markets right now, because we have the entry-level pricing. There's very low inventory. There's very strong demand, so those properties are going up faster. They're getting multiple offers, so the home values are increasing at a faster pace in the entry-level price point. In the mid-level market, we're seeing a pretty normal market, and that's generally between 500,000 and $1 million in most of our market segments, because the average months of supply should be around 6 or 7 months, and that's about what it is in that market segment, between roughly 500,000 and $1 million. Above $1 million, it's still a buyer's market in most areas. There are some exceptions, a few in-town spots that are still pretty hot, even in the luxury market. But other than outside in the suburbs a bit, for example, you'll see on average, 28, 30 months of supply in that segment. So prices are actually not going up so much in luxury. Still a buyer's market there. Definitely a seller's market in entry level.
So a seller's market, what does that mean to the buyer exactly? What can he expect anyway? Does that mean that you have fewer homes from which to pick and you get less for your money, or what is it?
It's a good question.
Negotiable.
If you're in a seller's market, obviously you have the negotiating advantage, and what you will often see is multiple offers, and there's a auction style behavior that goes on when people really want a property. They will sometimes bid it up more than it's really worth, and so it gets to be an interesting little scenario between what properties will actually appraise for versus what people are offering, and making all that work. So it's a little complicated, actually. But, I mean, you certainly have the negotiating advantage when you're in a seller's market. And we certainly have a lot of areas, and in that entry-level price point in particular, that are that way. If you go back years ago, the largest segment of buyers in Atlanta for a long time was first-time home buyers. And, of course, some of that was fueled before the recession with, what we call the ninja loans. No income, no job. It was too easy to get a loan for most people, or all these things. It was artificially fueled. So that's all completely reset, of course. And now baby boomers are the first, number one buying segment. First-time home buyers have dropped to somewhere between second or third, depending on what month we look at.
The millennial market, though, is coming back. I keep reading in Atlanta Business Chronicle and Georgia Trend and different places that the people that are getting ready to move out of their parents' house, like 25 to 30-year-old people.
Yeah, they're definitely moving into the market. It's still not as fast as everybody would like to have seen, including them. So there's a strong desire for most millennials to have a home, and you see a lot of even single-family rentals going on with millennials because they don't want to live in an apartment. And they don't want to live with their parents anymore. Right. So their parents don't want them to live with them anymore. So
they're nice, but not that nice.
So that whole world's changed a lot. So there's definitely a lot of pent up activity there, and it's continuing to grow and grow every year.
What kind of advice would you give to a millennial about buying a house and getting a piece of property that will appreciate in value? What would you say how would you counsel those people?
Oh, that's a good question. Again, it sort of depends on what their situation is. And I have a millennial. I have two of them, in fact, and one that, will be the next generation coming up. And so for folks who are, getting into their business life and getting married, starting to have kids when you're in your 20s and your, early 30s, there's nothing quite like owning a home. I mean, it's yours. You make it yours. The way people treat and feel about a home that they own versus rent is completely different. And when you look at the economic return, study after study has proven over and over and over the long-term returns for real estate are better than almost anything that you can do. So, but you have to be smart. You have to be, thoughtful about the area and the type of home you buy, and, look out for a few years and see what kind of investment return you're likely to get there. But it really comes down to lifestyle. I mean, people, when it's yours, people they treat it differently, they act differently, and our economy and our world is a lot better place when people own homes. Actually, home ownership is coming back again. It had dipped to 50+ year lows, and then it's back up into the low 60s now nationally. So it's beginning to move back in the right direction.
What kind of advice would you give the active adult market that is looking to maybe move into a smaller place?
Yeah, actually, we really thought downsizing was going to be a bigger trend than it's turned out to be. A lot of people are staying in their properties longer than most of the analysts would have expected. And I think part of that is, there's a lot of people whose kids are, they're empty nesters now. The kids have moved out. They're sitting in a larger home. It may be getting a little older now, and they're having to do more, maintain it and upgrade it and deal with it than they really would like. Or they may have, health challenges, and they really need a, single story kind of property. The challenge for a lot of them is they don't want to move too far, and where do I go? Mm-hmm. So the new homes world has not been able to build fast enough in the right areas to really make that move get supported in mass yet. But there's definitely people that are doing it, and so we expect that to continue.
A friend of mine I just had lunch with, just got back from China. He said there's so many people everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's crowds. And we're getting that way here. Look at how important
some
is
of them are coming here too,
and logistics to home buying in Atlanta, the metro area.
Well, it's always one of the issues that come up. And we actually have a search called a drive time search on our websites and our mobile app that people love because they can simply put in 3 locations. If I'm relocating to the area and I want to pick my work location, I might pick the school my kids go to, some other spot that I want to go to. And then I can look for homes that are within a certain driving distance of those 3 locations and find homes, different times of day based on rush hour, et cetera, and really manage my traffic flow.
Fantastic.
So it's a big issue, and one of the things, but I'll say this, everybody talks about Atlanta traffic. I've lived in a few other metros around the country, and I've traveled, and let me tell you, there's plenty of metropolitan areas that have at least as bad traffic as we do.
Yeah.
Every big metro has traffic.
Beijing, I heard, is really another. A friend of mine was just over there. They even have police officers guarding the pedestrian traffic. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Lou Whelan with Tony Floyd here as the Chief Marketing Officer of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties. And by the way, if you missed any of this show, it's on my website without the commercials, AtlantaCommunityProfiles.com. On the right side, you can hear the entire show. And we're talking about we talked in the previous segment about the trends and the traffic, and we talked a little bit about live, work, and play, but not specifically. How does that element play into the equation and as a marketing a company to home buyers and home sellers?
Well, people not only just come and look at homes, they look at areas and lifestyles, and they really want to understand how they're going to live in that area and that home. So, that when they're dealing with their real estate agent, those are lots of the questions they begin to ask. Or when they're searching on our websites, we need to provide better and better information. We have a lot of video content. We have a lot of community-level content now that's not just homes. It's lifestyle information about certain areas and helping people find the place that would fit them the best. And, of course, there's a lot of developers now that are, making conscious decisions about where they build, new complexes or new single-family home projects that are in relationship to an area that's for shopping and restaurants and things like that. So the whole live, work, play concept of development is all coming together and really being enhanced.
One of the main kind of themes of the company is that our CEO keeps harping on is that we do redefine the real estate experience. What exactly do you think he means by that?
Well, we're fortunate being part of Berkshire Hathaway. We have access to resources that we can do things that other companies can't necessarily do. And so what he really means by that is we want to make it a better experience for our clients, our consumers. And so that can mean services that we provide that are better services for them. That means that, we take the time to understand and help them through the emotional side of moving in and out of homes, because it can be very emotional. It's a big move for most people. They're moving here. They're changing a whole lifestyle. They may come to an area and they don't know anybody. So helping them adapt to that local area and go through the emotional roller coaster that happens when you move to a brand new area, that's something that builds lifelong friendships and relationships with clients. So there's the human side of all of that. And then, of course, there's a lot of technology and underlying process components. We as a company are every day trying to find how to do things better, faster, so that we can, again, provide our associates advantages that they can provide to their clients that make them more valuable and provide that better experience to their clients.
It's really sounds like the bottom line is it's just a lot higher level of professionalism that we bring to the table than
and again, there's in real estate you'll find there's a lot of small companies. The truth really is they just can't do the things that we can do. I mean, I know how much money we spend. I know the kinds of resources that we have access to and the talent that we can collaborate with and get things accomplished and go faster. It just gives us a lot of advantages, and we'll continue to over the coming years.
Kathy Connolly, I've known Kathy for almost 25 years, and she's head of relocation for the company, and just a phenomenally wonderful person. And which I'd like to talk a little bit about the relocation market in general. Everybody's talking about Amazon coming, and some people are saying they know where it is going to be, and I'm not one of them, but they think it's going to be in downtown, but who knows where it's going to be, and it looks pretty good that we'll get it. At least I'm hoping that. But what's the trend in corporate relocation, and how do we do with respect to helping companies in that area?
Well, of course, Atlanta is a very attractive place for businesses, and the cost to do business here is much lower than most metropolitan areas. The cost of living, the quality of the lifestyle, the airport is a great draw, of course, for us because you can get anywhere with a direct flight, literally, from Atlanta. So people are going to continue to move their headquarters, their regional operations, and employees to Atlanta. In our particular case, we happen to be the leading provider of corporate relocation, and I can tell you that is not an easy business. You have to have an infrastructure of people and systems and resources, training, and process that most other companies don't have. So we do have the advantage, and we get virtually all the major corporate moves that come to Atlanta. We're right in the middle of all that.
So is Amazon coming to Atlanta? I mean, we won't tell anybody. Just
no comment, Lou.
No, I was hoping I could get inside track there. But well, we're listening to the Chief Marketing Officer of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties, and we're covering a lot of ground, and it's all on my website, AtlantaCommunityProfiles.com, without commercial interruption. And the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the technology advantages that are offered by Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Lou Whelan with Tony Floyd, Chief Marketing Officer of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties. And like I said earlier in the previous segment, the show is on my site, AtlantaCommunityProfiles.com, without commercials. And Tony is kind of the whiz kid, you might say, of the company, just the guy that really guards the company's crystal ball very well. And I know that that you have certainly favored treatment by the crystal ball because you've been pretty much right on every step of the way. Tell us, what does the crystal ball say about trends going forward the next year or two in the real estate market?
Well, I think the market's going to be good for the next couple of years. We barring any natural disaster or some unusual phenomenon like that, we expect the real estate market to continue to do well in Atlanta. The trends for people continuing to move here, businesses to move here, population growth, job growth are all very, very positive for Atlanta. So, I mean, if you fast forward for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, all positive signs. So real estate's going to be good for Metro Atlanta for a good while.
Does that mean that prices will go up, continue to go up? Well, this year they went up, did you say, around 4%? Across the board. Do you forecast a similar increase going forward?
Prices have to go up. As more people come in, and real estate's all about supply and demand in micro local areas. So, I can give you the answers for the metro, but community by community it will vary. So, but it's all back to supply and demand for the most part. And we have very strong demand trends, and we have limited supply trends. So. The builder community can't go fast enough to really offset that right now. They're going about as fast as they can, and they're doing 23,000 units this year, we expect. And, at the peak, they were doing 60. So we don't expect that to come back, but we really wish they could get up to about 30 or 35,000 units because that would give us more inventory to sell. And we wish we could get more inventory in the entry-level market because there's a vacuum there as well.
One of the magic names in all business is the name Warren Buffett. And one of the reasons it's magical is because he has done so well financially, and he's called all the turns and all the upticks and all the downturns. But it's a name that people admire and respect. And the fact that he owns our company bodes well for our customers. Could you please explain how that works?
Well, there's no question that, Warren Buffett is, known for quality. Everything that he owns essentially is a quality entity. And what he does a great job of is he has long-term interest. He doesn't buy companies to sell them, and he leaves you alone, lets you run the business. So naturally, there's a few layers between us and Uncle Warren, as we jokingly call him. But they give us access to resources that we wouldn't otherwise get. And they don't get in the details of our business too much and let us run our business. And, that's a great combination.
Well, one of the last questions would be, what kind of advice would you give to we have 1,650 real estate agents in the company, making Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Georgia Properties, the largest real estate brokerage firm in the metro area in terms of sales and listings and pretty much every category. I think every category. What kind of advice would you give real estate agents who might be considering changing and coming to the company, or maybe just inspiring some of the people who are on board already?
Well, we want to be a place where professionals can thrive. That's just that simple. We're going to continue to push the envelope and go faster and faster at providing better capabilities to our associates. More training, more coaching, so that we have the support structure that provides them a very successful business, but also allows them to deliver great value to their clients. Because we think at the end of the day, the food chain has to always start with our paying clients, and we get better and better at serving their needs and delivering value to them. And if we work backwards from there and do a great job with our agents and our teams, and work that back through the company, we'll do well. So our track record's been very strong. I think you'll see our pace to be even faster in the next few years because The world's going to continue to change faster. Innovations in technology and business process is going to change faster. So we'll change faster. And at the end of the day, we do that because we want to take advantage of the opportunities and help our associates and our clients take advantage of the opportunities that those things present.
Well, you're pretty much the guy that people look to for advice and guidance for marketing trends and promoting yourself. And we appreciate the work that you've done and the leadership that you've displayed and equipping agents. And isn't that? Do you consider that to be a key part of your job function? Is equipping agents to be the maximum amount of professionalism that is possible?
Oh, absolutely. And again, we've got a great team. I've got a great team that works with me. We got a lot of really smart people who make all these things happen. And for agents, again, our role is to give them things that give them more value to their consumers. Give them things that take time out of their day so that they can spend their time in the best places that generate the best returns for their business and help serve their clients in the best way. And we'll continue to do that at a much faster pace.
Great to have you back on the show, Tony. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show, and appreciate the phenomenal job that you do at the company to help agents become the best that they can possibly become in service to their clients. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lou. It's certainly a pleasure to be here, and we look forward to returning.
Thank you so much. And now stay tuned for Dr. Bill Williams, Chairman and CEO of Swanee Dental Care, our dental health expert.